Hey guys, and welcome back to Brexit Britain, a country that went into the garage, started the vehicle, put a hosepipe in the exhaust, and put the hosepipe in the vehicle, closed the doors, and the rest, we all know what happens. Also, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all of your messages that you sent me, and a special thanks to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, I'll go through all the messages. I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages for definite. You know, I keep on getting drawn back to this £20, a week that they're taking back off of the lowest earners in this country. Do you know what I mean? When you've got MPs complaining about not being able to live on £82,000. Do you know what I mean? Knowing, and they've just announced again, right, that they've got apparently a new green levy, which is going to put our bills up even more, right? For gas and these things that right, it's just this country. I tell you where this country's gone to. Taking the £20 uplift. It's like that's like getting a increasing your wages, right, and then saying to you, well, as soon as the prices go back up, we're going to take that money back off you. Right? How evil can you really get? I mean, the £20 uplift, right, just shows you that actually the money wasn't enough for these people in the first place because it's just unbelievable. Some of the stories what you hear, right, of people of what people are having to live on. Right, one where I found the radio and him, I think it's something like £156. Him and his wife and his two kids have got to live on a week, right? And him and his wife are disabled. Well, I think he's disabled, so his wife is his carer. Do you know what I mean? And they've got two children to look after as well. Do you know what I mean? And he said, you know what? We just went shopping and that because we just got our money, so we just went shopping and that. And now they've got £10 left to last them for 2 weeks. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Do you know what I mean? Right? Listen, I don't know how these people voted. Right? I don't know whether they voted for Brexit. Right? I don't know whether they vote for the Tories because there seems to be a lot of people who are on benefits, right, that are voting for the. I mean, that's the only way the Tories can really get in. They've got to have people who are working class people and people on benefits voting for them, especially for Boris Johnson to seem to be so popular still. Do you know what I mean? Even though the man has completely destroyed this country, right? The man has destroyed is not even the word what the man has done to this country, right? And you remember, right? Us allowing, all of our industries, yeah, to be sold off to the private sector is the reason why we're at where we are, right? And then obviously, right, Brexit was voted for, right? Then we got really fucked up because we had the pandemic, so that come in, right? So, right, but the pandemic, yeah, has been covering up all the shit from Brexit because all this crap would have been happening a lot earlier had it not been for the pandemic, right? Because I don't even know, what these people was thinking, right? Boris Johnson had every opportunity to say, when he took over, he had every opportunity to say, actually, I'm going to kick this Brexit thing to the curb because it's not going to be good for the country. All the reports we've had is not going to be. He would have known. He would have known because he would have been told. He would have been told about all of the outcomes. What would happen if. Do you know what I mean? And now, right, we've got to a stage now, yeah, where they're just blaming. They're just simply blaming the. They're just simply blaming the people who voted for this. They're blaming them for this. They're saying, well, you know what, you voted for this, so we're pulling it through because you voted for it. So that's down to you. It's your fault. In the same way they're telling business, you voted for this, right? You should have known that we didn't know what we was talking about because you didn't know that we didn't know what we was talking about. How is that our fault? You know, I know, I know. That's how these people are going on. Right, I've just had an interview from Andrew Bridgen. Andrew Bridgen is just blaming, he's just saying, well, you know what? And what's really pissing me off, right? They're still pushing this nonsense, yeah, about a high wage, high skilled economy. Right? I'm sure, listen, that must be dead now, surely, because everyone must have seen through that. Everyone must have seen through that fucking nonsense. High wage, high skilled economy. Right? What about all the low skilled jobs? What about all them? Well, we're just going to get rid of them. You know, you know, when all these high skilled people, when all these highly skilled people, right, need to go to a restaurant to eat, who the hell's going to serve them? High skilled waiters? You know, you get a coffee in the morning. Who's that? A high skilled barista? Right? Do you know what I mean? I mean, come on. This is just what the kitchen staff. Well, if there are kitchen staff in hospitals, right? But the porters and all these type of people in the hospitals. They're pushing people around in the hospital. Are these high skilled porters? Right? The absolute nonsense that these people can make you believe. So say, yeah, everyone's going to be high skilled. Really? Okay, but if everyone's high skilled, right? What about like the baggage handlers when they come in? Are the baggage handlers high skilled too? Right? Because everyone's high skilled. So like the local the local molly maids, are they high skilled too? Who I just don't get this. I don't get why people, right, pretend to fall for this shit as well. Because I'm sure that people actually know better. This 80-year-old. I just heard this 80-year-old on the radio, right, and he was he was talking, and he said that now he's 80 years old and he's fully coherent, right. So he said, well, he voted Brexit. Just what gets me, right? This means this motherfucker's gonna fucking die a racist old motherfucker. Right? How the hell you're 80 years old and you're voting for fucking Brexit after Jacob Rees-Mogg already done told you, well, you're not going to see any benefits for 50 years. He's 80. But when I suppose when he voted, I suppose what he was like 75. Do you know what I mean? I suppose if he thinks he's going to make, I suppose he could make it to 125 years old to see some benefits from the Brexit that he voted for. Right? And when been asking, what these people are like, right? The first thing they come with, unelected bureaucrats, and you think to yourself, hold on a minute. You know what? You're 80 years old. You're fully coherent. If you can be phoning the radio and speaking to a presenter, you're fully coherent. Right, you're 80 years old, right? You're telling me you couldn't get it hasn't gone through your thick skull yet, right? That's just nonsense that you're saying, right? But when you break these people down, yeah, it always comes down to immigration. Everything comes down to immigration because they're just some racist motherfuckers, right? So that's why all comes down to all the time, right? After you speak to a Brexiter after a few minutes, yeah, and that's what it comes down to all the time, immigration, right? So we got at least yeah, we know that like the business leaders, yeah, have got Kwasi Kwarteng, right, who went and saw them yesterday, right, to reassure them that what, the government is with you. We're going to look out for you because see all the with the gas, yeah, all the steel, like the steel makers and the and people like the glass makers and things like that, yeah, they need a lot of gas to get their shits fired up. Do you know what I mean? So these guys are really struggling now. They're proper struggling, and obviously, if they don't get some good help from the government, right, then they're all gonna have to close their businesses, right? Whether or not they have to close their doors for good, or they might just be able to close them and just until these current prices go by. Do you know what I mean? But you got to remember these guys have got very a lot of these guys' running costs is very very high on a daily basis. So so it might not they might not be able to close their business for a couple of weeks or a couple of days or whatever. Right, so Kwasi Kwarteng went up in there to go and see them yesterday, right? And I know what you're saying to yourself. Well, yes, good. Well, Kwasi's on the case. Yeah. Well, today, yeah, the business leaders have sent a message to say this government don't seem to have any kind of plan. Because what the business leaders are like, isn't it? Well, we want some money. That's because that's the only thing that you could. That's the only thing that's the only help you can really give these people is giving them money, right? Trying to get them cheaper gas, right? They want to blame, every minute these people want to blame Putin for this and blame Putin for that, right? And a lot of the gas is coming from Nord Stream, and so what the talk on a lot of the talk is, well, something, yeah, because Putin wants to have like Nord Stream 2, right? And these guys have been holding back. So I don't really know what's going on behind that nonsense. I mean, but right, it's something to do with like this Nord Stream 2. So we're enjoying extra high gas prices. But as I said, the green gas levy is coming in soon anyway. So that's gonna put another couple of £100 on our gas bills as well as the current ones that's got the current increase that's going on. That's going to be another increase, right? So expect but as you Tories know, right? You working class Tories, you benefit Tories, right? You TiVos, right? And right, you all know, right? That and you Tainos, that's the one, the Tainos as well. You all know what you voted for, right? You voted right because you're all Tories, and we're living in a Tory world, so you've got to expect, as they say, this must be this is a rich country, right? So you should all be able to pay your bills nice and easy because you voted for these people. You voted for Jacob Rees-Mogg, who bought a house for £5.5 million in London just so he could be closer to where he does his job for £82,000 a year. I leave you to work the figures out on that, right? Leave you to work the figures out on that. But yeah, so the business leaders haven't really had anything good to say about Kwasi Kwarteng and his government. They basically said, you know what, this government haven't got a fucking clue what the hell they're doing, right? But what the hell was you Brexiters expecting? What was you TiVos expecting? What was you benefit Tories expecting? You put a bunch of clowns in charge of the country. What do you expect? I hope you're enjoying your high bills that's coming in. I really hope you're going to enjoy that shit, right? So, do you know, right? So let's do some Brexit, right? So the HGV drivers and the tanker drivers, because we've needed like to ask the EU, well, with our countries in the EU tanker drivers, right? For 300 of them they've asked for 300 tanker drivers they want 300, right? 300. And you know how much they've got so far? 27. 20 kiss me ass 7. That's what my mum would say. That's how my mum would say it. 20 kiss me ass 7. 27 out of 300. Do you understand, right, that 2 years ago, if they had put that out, right, that would have been filled in minutes. Minutes that would have been filled in minutes. That's how unattractive you Brexiters have made this country. That people are like, nah, they haven't even got 10% yet. Not even 10%. Not even 30 yet. Right, off that, right? Probably, with the percentage wise, we're talking about, probably 26.9 or something like that, percentage wise. 27 out of 300. They're just like, no, nay, no, no. Come on, man, seriously. You people, what you've done to this country, yeah, you've destroyed it. I hope you fools are happy with yourself, right? And then the HGV drivers, right, just to drive the normal HGV, the class 1 and that up in there, do you know what I mean? They said, you know what? We're going to put out a thing. We're going to put out, and we'll get 5,000. We want 5,000, and before we know it, yeah, we'll have probably 7,000 applying. 7,000. That's easy. Because you know why? Because we're Great Britain, and we're exceptional. And you know what? How dare these people? If we put out for these people to come and work in this country, you damn right they'll come and work in this country. Of course they will. What the hell do you think this is? What the hell do you think this is? This is Great Britain. You don't know that? No, man, of course they're going to come. Well, 127 have applied. Again, I'm not going to work the percentage out on this one, but, it's not even 10%. Do you know what I mean? It's not even 5%. It's very, doesn't that say something to you? But I suppose you Brexiters are probably happy with that, innit? Because your ass is so fucking racist that you don't really care what the fuck is going on in this country. So so you probably get to think to yourself, well, it's probably worth it, not to see no fucking foreigners come over here, to do the fucking jobs that we don't want to do. But something, we don't want some fucking foreigner doing that job. No way. Got to be done by British. You fucking racist Egypt. Just how look how we're looking internationally, like a fucking bunch of fucking clowns. Oh God! But we're run by clowns. And you know what? I'm not trying to insult clowns, because some clowns, we've got some sensible clowns. Ronald McDonald, right? You can't tell me that's not a sensible clown up in there. Right? Okay, so there are a few sensible ones, but our one just happens to be one of the stupidest ones out there. Bozo, right? Your guy, right? You Brexiters, right? This is all on you. Bozo the clown is your person, and he's fucked this country over. Anyway, guys, this is By Any Means Necessary. I'm MC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.